Imagine waking up one day to find the grocery stores emptied, supply chains disrupted, and no immediate access to food. What would you do? In an emergency, the ability to find food isn't just a skill, it's survival. In a world where modern conveniences can disappear instantly, whether due to natural disasters, economic collapse, or unforeseen emergencies, your survival could depend on one ancient skill: foraging. Once a fundamental way of life, foraging has become a lost art in today's fast-paced world. But in times of crisis, knowing how to identify, harvest, and safely consume wild food can mean the difference between going hungry and staying alive. In this video, we'll break down the basics of calamity foraging, so you'll be ready to feed yourself when it matters most. Calamity foraging skills and why they matter. Foraging is more than just a survival tactic. It's a crucial skill that allows you to tap into nature's hidden pantry when resources are scarce. Long before supermarkets and packaged goods, our ancestors relied on their deep knowledge of edible plants, fungi, and other natural food sources. Yet today, most people wouldn't recognize a nutritious wild plant even if it were growing right in their backyard. This lack of knowledge could prove disastrous in an emergency. By learning how to forage now, before a crisis strikes, you equip yourself with the ability to find food in forests, fields, and even urban areas. Whether it's wild berries, nuts, medicinal herbs, or protein sources like insects and fish, foraging ensures that you won't be left helpless when disaster hits. Mastering this skill means reclaiming independence, increasing your self-sufficiency, and ensuring that no matter what happens, you'll never go hungry. 1. What to stay away from. Before diving into foraging, beginners must first understand what to avoid. One of the biggest dangers is misinformation. Assuming that all wild plants or mushrooms are safe to eat can be a fatal mistake. Never rely on myths like "if animals eat it, humans can too," or unproven tests like the silver spoon test for mushrooms, as many toxic plants have nearly identical lookalikes. Foraging in polluted areas, such as roadsides or near industrial sites, should be avoided due to contamination risks from chemicals and heavy metals. Ethical and legal considerations are also key. Some regions have strict foraging laws, and overharvesting can damage fragile ecosystems. Lastly, always be cautious of allergic reactions, and introduce new wild foods in small amounts to ensure they're safe for consumption. Foraging is a powerful skill, but it must be approached with knowledge, caution, and respect for nature. 2. Wild berries and nuts. In an emergency, wild berries and nuts can be life-saving sources of energy, offering essential nutrients when food supplies are scarce. Berries provide natural sugars, antioxidants, and vitamins that help sustain energy levels, while nuts are packed with protein, healthy fats, and crucial minerals to keep the body functioning. Foraging for these natural foods requires a keen eye and some basic knowledge. Berries are often found in wooded areas, along trails, and near water sources. Many edible berries, like blackberries and raspberries, are safe, but others, such as mistletoe, hollyberries, and belladonna, are highly toxic. When gathering nuts, look for trees like oak, hickory, and walnut, which drop their bounty in the fall. Acorns, though slightly bitter, can be made edible by soaking or boiling to remove tannins. Hazelnuts and chestnuts are excellent high-calorie options, easily recognizable by their distinctive shells. 3. Nutritious herbs and leaves. In a survival situation, herbs and wild plants become even more essential, providing both nourishment and medicinal benefits when conventional treatments are unavailable. When collecting wild greens, always select young, tender leaves for the best flavor and nutritional value. While some leaves and herbs can be rich in nutrients, others can cause anything from stomach distress to fatal poisoning. This is why proper identification is non-negotiable. Relying on vague resemblances or gut instincts can lead to disaster. Many edible plants have toxic lookalikes that even experienced foragers approach with caution. Wild chervil, for example, is a flavorful herb, but mistake it for hemlock, and you'll face lethal consequences. To avoid such risks, beginners must use reliable field guides with detailed images and descriptions, ensuring they can differentiate between safe and harmful species. Even when a plant appears safe, Consuming it recklessly is unwise. Some parts may be edible, while others contain toxins, and certain plants require proper processing to neutralize harmful compounds. Furthermore, traditional tests like the universal edibility test, which involves gradual exposure to a plant, are not foolproof. Some toxins take hours or even days to show their effects. The reality is that foraging is not as simple as grabbing a handful of leaves and calling it a meal. Without proper knowledge and preparation, what seems like a survival skill can quickly turn into a fatal mistake. 4. Fishing. Fishing is one of the most valuable survival foraging skills, providing a reliable source of protein when other food options are scarce. In an emergency situation without gear, resourcefulness is key. One of the simplest methods is hand fishing or noodling, which involves feeling for fish in shallow water and grabbing them by the gills or mouth, though this requires patience and quick reflexes. Another effective approach is creating a bottle trap using a plastic container with an inverted top, baiting it with insects or food scraps, and placing it in still water to catch small fish overnight. For those near wooded areas, crafting a fishing net from natural fibers like willow or cedar bark can increase the chances of securing a catch. If any fabric with a mesh-like structure is available, it can be stretched over a frame of sturdy sticks to create a dip net, ideal for scooping up fish in shallow waters. Once a fish is caught, proper cleaning and preparation are crucial before cooking over an open flame. These age-old techniques, practiced by indigenous communities for centuries, highlight the power of adaptability in survival situations, proving that with the right knowledge, fishing can be done even without modern equipment. 5. Trapping poultry. In survival situations, trapping poultry can be an effective way to secure a food source without expending too much energy. One of the simplest and most efficient methods is a funnel or cage trap, which exploits the bird's natural behavior. Start by selecting a location where poultry frequently forage, such as near a water source or feeding area. Construct a cone-shaped funnel trap using pliable bark, woven sticks, or even lightweight wire if available. The entrance should be wide enough for the bird to enter, but taper to a narrower exit, preventing escape. Bait the trap with grains, corn, or food scraps to lure the bird inside. As poultry are naturally drawn to easy food sources, they will enter the trap, but due to its inward-sloping design, they struggle to find their way out. For added security, place a simple trigger mechanism, such as a weighted door or spring-loaded snare, to ensure the bird remains trapped. This method is particularly effective for chickens, quails, and wildfowl in rural or wilderness settings. By strategically placing multiple traps and checking them regularly, you can increase your chances of securing a steady food supply in survival situations. Fire making. Fire making is one of the most essential survival skills, providing warmth, a means to cook food, purify water, signal for rescue, and even ward off predators. Being able to start a fire without modern tools is crucial in emergencies, and the process requires patience, resourcefulness, and knowledge of the right materials. The first step is gathering fuel, starting with tinder such as dry grass, pine needles, or shredded bark, which ignites easily. Small twigs and kindling come next, gradually building up to larger branches and logs once the fire is established. Dry, aged wood is best, as damp or green materials are difficult to ignite and produce excessive smoke. If matches or a lighter are available, starting a fire is straightforward, but in situations where no modern tools are on hand, alternative methods become necessary. Flint and steel can create sparks to ignite dry tinder, while friction-based techniques, like the hand drill or bow drill, require rapidly spinning a stick against a wooden base to generate heat until embers form. If sunlight is available, a magnifying glass, eyeglasses, or even a clear water bottle filled with water can focus the sun's rays onto a tinder to create a flame. In colder environments, a clear ice lens can serve the same purpose. Once the fire is burning steadily, it can be used for cooking, sterilizing tools, and boiling water. Additionally, placing fresh green vegetation onto the flames can create thick smoke, which is useful for signaling rescuers. Mastering fire-making techniques ensures that even without modern conveniences, one can harness this vital survival tool to stay warm, cook food, and increase chances of rescue in dire situations. Mastering these techniques can turn the wilderness into a source of sustenance and security. With the right knowledge, nature provides everything you need to survive. Have you ever tried any of these foraging skills in a survival situation? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more video updates. Until next time, stay tuned.